Hey guys, it's me Phil. How are we doing? Hope you're having a good day. So today is a special day as it's the 25th of October 2025. It's been 1 year to the date that I got made redundant. I haven't done a redundancy vlog for a while, but here we go. It's a bit of a special moment. And what I thought I'd do is I would recap some of the things that's happened over the past year and, just see how things have been going. So, yeah, I was made redundant. It was the Friday last year, and I think it was about 12 o'clock that I left work, went through all the rigmarole and all that kind of stuff. And that's when I started having, I think I originally had about 7 months off. Got a good redundancy, which is one of the main things. Used that to do a lot of things. One of the things I really did was to pay off my car loan. If you have seen any of my videos before, you know I had an Audi. I had another year to go on that, which would have coincidentally been ending right about now. But I paid that off. I think that was about £3,500 I had to pay off on that. November last year, I went to Scotland for 4 days. Stayed in a really nice hotel. Looked a bit like an American motel kind of thing. Was in the Falkirk area. Went to the Falkirk Wheel. Went to see the Forth Rail Bridge because of Grand Theft Auto and things like that. And so I had that. Got Christmas through. Had a few more months. I thought, right, okay, I'll look for a job. And I ended up, I think it was the 19th of March this year. I went for I saw a job online on it. I think it was Indeed, and I went in to inquire about it at this place. They set up an interview. I think it was about 2 weeks later I had this interview, and basically in the interview it was a local authority job, going around houses and things like that. Oh, the sun's just come out. Going around houses, repairing and whatever. And halfway through the interview, I got a really bad vibe from the two people. They were lovely people, don't get me wrong, but I forget what I said, but the whole room changed. And I decided not to go for it. And as it turned out, this was a good feeling. I'll explain why when I get onto the other part of the story. And they phoned me up, I think it was about 3 or 4 days later, and they said, look, Phil, you've got the job. I says, look, I've had a change in circumstances. I'm afraid I cannot accept at the moment. Please, accept my apologies. And like I said, my hunch paid off. But I'll get to that in a moment. And again, it was about a couple of weeks later, I was on Indeed. And I saw a job for not grounds maintenance. It was working at a caravan site at Caister, which is about 25 miles away from here. And I applied. And I got a message back within an hour saying, look, can you come for an interview? I said, yeah, no problem. Went to the place. It was a hell of a drive out. Through a lot of country lanes and things like that. And that should have been my first kind of warning, but it wasn't. So I went for the interview, had a look round, chatted to the guy, met a few of the guys that were, possibly be working with. And, it all seemed okay. And I should have been working on the caravan park. Anyway, had the interview, came home, and as I pulled into my driveway, I got a phone call saying, Phil, you got the job. I said, okay, that's brilliant, yeah. When can you start? Oh, okay then. And I actually started on May bank holiday, the 26th. And that was a bit funny because nobody really works on a bank holiday, do they? Not in this sector of the game. Which is okay, so I started, met a lot of the guys. And through how things I used to work, I would always go for it. And they actually said, slow down, you're doing too much. Which is, okay, then, yeah, no problem. So, did what I needed to do. And then they said to me, this was like the second or third day, look, we've got a golf course here. You've got experience of working on a golf course. We want to put you on the golf course. And I thought, oh, God, I really don't want to work on a golf course again. I'm 54 now, and I actually worked my birthday on that day, and nobody likes to work on the birthday, but I was working on the birthday. And I cannot do what I used to be able to 20 years ago. And I think I was there for about 5 weeks. I think it was the 27th of July. And I'd been talking to one of the guys who worked there, and he says, no, you're on a 0 hours contract for the first 2 years. He says, and the best thing about them is you can just go up to the boss and say, look, don't want to do this anymore, and leave. You don't have to give a reason, you don't have to give notice or anything like that. And this thing kind of stewed in my head for a while, and I was getting more and more upset. I won't say what I would normally say. It rhymes with hissed. And it got to the point where I went up to this guy one day and he says, look, this is my last day. I says, you've been brilliant. I love working with you, mate. Thank you very much. But I'm going to go see the boss and I'm going. And he says, totally understand. He says, this guy who I was speaking to, he would be leaving about now anyway. The place would be shutting down for the season. So I went to the office. I met with the guy. I says, look, I really appreciate the opportunity you've given me. But it's not something I want to do. And one of the main reasons was travelling to and from work. I've always worked in Scunthorpe. I've always cycled or walked. I've driven, and I didn't want to do that job. And it just all came together, and I just says, no, thank you very much. I've had enough. And since then, I've just been having a bit more time with Mum. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see 2025 out. And when it gets to like January the 2nd, 3rd next year, that's when I'm going to be looking for another job. Now, I've decided, I've spoken to a few friends, I've spoken to my mum, and I've said, look, I'm going to go part-time. I live in a house that's paid for. I just need enough money to get by. I share bills and things like that. And I don't want to do full-time. I can't, through various medical reasons, I'm not doing what I used to be able to. I'm going to look for a cleaning job or something along them lines, I don't know. Maybe if the right job came up, I would go for full-time, but my knees hurt. I have a heart problem and various other physical things. I don't want to do full-time. I'll go for part-time and just bring a little bit of money in. I eventually sold my Audi because for a few reasons. I did explain that in another video. And I've gone to this Seat Altea, if you've seen this in previous videos before. And it's paid off. I just don't want to do full-time anymore. Now, a lot of people might not agree with that, but this is my life, not yours. This is the kind of thing I'm going to do. So yeah, I just thought I'd do a quick video on the anniversary of me being made redundant on my last day when I was at Brumby Hall. And what do you think? Have I done the right thing? Have I done the wrong thing? Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And I'm now back on social media. I'm not one of those massive people, to get followers and things like that. But if you want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, I'll put them here. But yeah, leave me a comment and let me know what you'd have done. But yeah, I've had a year off. It's a couple more months to go to the end of 2025, and we'll go from there. Right, thanks for listening to this little rant, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.